One, two, one, two. Here we go. It's my time to rise. It's my time to shine. It's my time to live. It's my time to fly. It's my time. It's my time. I can see it.
Welcome to Master the Science of Business, WMSB Radio, where mastering the science of business is our business, because we know it's our time to shine, bringing to you live successful business owners from around the world, sharing best and worst business practices so that you and I can avoid the pitfalls that may lead to failure and benefit from the wisdom of their success. It's our time to shine, y'all. MasterTheScienceOfBusiness.com.
Are you looking for ways to make your work environment more productive? Would you like for your coworkers to get along better with each other? Do you want your employees to actually work as a cohesive team? Would you like to overcome your fear of public speaking? Contact Falau Worldwide Seminars, your company's personal training department. You can reach us at 404-438-3156 to schedule a 15-minute complimentary communication coaching assessment session. That's 404-438-3156. Falau Worldwide.
Welcome to Soul Wisdom International, where we specialize in building the human spirit. Can you imagine yourself completely free to be, think, and explore all the possibilities of being happy? What if I told you all of that is possible and even more? Would you be willing to no longer be triggered by those issues and have the experience of life you've wanted? If you've answered yes, then you may be ready to take the next step. Call for your complimentary 30-minute assessment today. 404-541-0889.
More awareness now. Have you ever thought, man, if I only knew then what I know now, things would be different. If I had more awareness now, I would have invested my time, my money, my energy or currency more wisely with more awareness now. The time is now to join More Awareness Now. Discover, channel, utilize passion to profit, from third eye mind mapping to purposefully position profits from passion proficiently. We're talking about producing power, concretizing vision with More Awareness Now. Current members are saying, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to man up with More Awareness Now. My vision is clearer. I'm motivated now with clear direction on my progress, and my progress is phenomenal with moreawarenessnow.com. Or call 404-913-0260. That's 404-913-0260. Phenomenal, 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 phenomenal.
Welcome, 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 welcome to yet another show with Master the Science of Business, Mind, and Money Matters live show. And do we have a phenomenal program set for you today? Listen, y'all, we are in September, the month of ministry, focusing on the ministry of health and human services. As health and human services. And we have had our co-host, our special co-host guest on for the past couple of weeks. They are back for a third week to contribute in this collaboration with the Ministry of Trade and Commerce and the Ministry of health, and human services. We welcome you as Master the Science of Business Media Network Mind and Money Matters live show, which highlights business science solutions. The Mind and Money Matters live show represents the Ministry of Trade and Commerce and is designed to increase Black business ownership and entrepreneurship. We have coined the term sidepreneurs, meaning that those who have that temporary job on the side. So those, if you're listening and watching, pay close attention. These tips that we given to you is how to manage that temporary job, that side gig, while you are building your business with the hope of taking it to full time. That's scaling it up so that it can be a full-time business that takes care of you, your family, and your next generation. That's right. We're talking about generational wealth. We come straight out of Message to the Black Man, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's economic blueprint on page 174, which starts off with pooling your resources and as a team, master the science of business. Myself, Sister Sandy, and Brother Jahi, we work together to exemplify how to put together a partnership that works for the same or similar purpose of conducting business. Sister, I'm going to introduce to you our dear beloved sister, Brother Jahi. I'm normally introducing Brother Jahi, and I'm normally like all amped and excited, like Brother Jahi, the founder of Follow Worldwide Seminars and Training, but he is not going to be on the line today. So I get the opportunity, the pleasure of introducing my beloved sister, Sister Sandy Buford Muhammad. She is the founder and owner of Soul Wisdom International, where they are building the human spirit through the mind of your business. Just imagine that your mind is in a place that it can take your business to where your vision sees it going. How you like that? Can you do that? How does it get any better than that? That's how we like to say it, right, Sister Sandy?
How does it get any better? Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, my beloved partner, sister, friend. Let me say, earth-shattering, busting up all of the myths about how businesses are to be done and run in this day. My sister Shireen, thank you all. Welcome our beautiful co-hosts for this month, her and her husband. We are so excited to have them with us for the month of September. I'm going to try to do a word on a block. How about that? Brother Jahi,
okay.
I know, listen, if you can talk, you're welcome to give us a shout out. And if you can't, I know you cheesy from ear to ear as your sister attempt to do the word on the block. So my word on the block is this. Did y'all check out The Minister this past
Yes.
Oh my God. If you did not hear the tribute, it was a Black Men's Sunday at our beloved brother, help me out, Sister Shireen, at his church. He's been a supporter of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan forever and a day. You would think he's an FOI in the ranks when you hear him talking. Oh my goodness.
Brother Dr. Reverend Willie Wilson.
That's him.
If I didn't get that right, Brother Jahi is he's gonna be texting. He's gonna be typing in. I see him now. I can see his hands moving. Like, come on.
Oh my God. Let me tell you. So I'm gonna try to do the best I can, Brother Jahi, with word on the block. So if you did not see that presentation of their rendition of the Million Man March, that's what's up. If we can duplicate, when we duplicate that like times like maybe 1,000, 2,000, they shook it up. I'm telling you, the presentation, the speakers, everybody. One pastor got up there and said, if I gotta be a Muslim for an hour,
come on now,
I'm gonna be that, because this is unity up in the house today. The minister was in tears when our beloved sister,
brother Gregory's
brother
daughter,
Dick Gregory's daughter.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
She sung to our minister, brought tears to his eyes. She sung to everybody else up on the dais. I mean, talk about Word on the Block, go to NOI.org and look up archive webcast and pull that up. Oh my goodness, you will be inspired. Our brothers, because we know y'all like listening to the show, Mind Money Matters show. If you don't know nothing about that, make sure that you go and do that. And always, I'll represent you properly, Brother Jahi. Make sure you save 5 cents a day,
that's it,
35 cents a week, so that you can contribute towards the blueprint with the Nation of Islam. Is not just for us, it's for everyone, the liberation, so we can have our own. That's what
right.
They were talking about that too, y'all. They were talking about that. Make sure you go to finalcall.org. Make sure I get it right, Sister Shireen, to make sure you get your finalcall.com to get your latest issue of the Final Call, the up-to-date information about what's happening in our community. Brother Chavez, who spoke at that event once, was over the Final Call assisting us. Now he's over Black media production now. The brother's doing some phenomenal things. Let's see. Make sure you tune in every Sunday at NOI.org. We have phenomenal speakers, ministers that are coming and giving us the upliftment, what we need in this time and date. Okay, so that's what I got for Word on the Block. Now, I'm going to read to you real quickly. I let it go off my screen real quick. I got to read this to you because, you know, sometimes when we say things live on the air, people be like, did y'all hear them say that? Then that must be true. No, we always warn you that statements or show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of Mind Money Matters live show. The material provided by Mind and Money Matters radio show is for educational purposes only. Mind and Money Matters live show does not warrant or guarantee the accuracy, adequacy, quality, validity, completeness, or suitability of any information for any purpose. Listener is encouraged to do their own research. So whatever information we give you, whatever information our guests give you, don't take it for face value. When we start reciting statistics, don't take it for face value. Go and research it for yourself. Know this information for yourself. And listen, we are live on Facebook. You can write us a chat. If we happen to make a mistake, which sometimes happens, if we make a mistake on the live air, please send us a message and help us to give the proper information. That is what we do our best, to give the most appropriate, up-to-date information. If we make a mistake, just hit us up. Come on, type it in the message box and let us know what we're doing. You appreciate our guests come on here. They are doing it out of the goodness of their heart, their time. They are busy people. So we thank them, and let's show them the love by taking the information that they give us, research it, give us feedback. Okay, so that's it from your sister, Sandy B. from Muhammad, with Soul Wisdom International. I am going to bring up, you already know her. She always opened the show up. And if she's not opening the show up, I guarantee you there's some glitches in the matrix. It does not run smoothly. We love our sister Shireen. She is, oh my God, little Khadijah. I ordered 3 books last week.
You did.
Sure, because I want my autographed book. The cover is beautiful. All of her books that she's published is phenomenal. It's not only for children, it allows interaction between parents, guardians, and our smaller ones to talk about. There we go. Oh, sweet Khadijah. All things sweet. I said last week, y'all, hint, hint, this is Sister Shireen. She talking about herself, right? In her book. I love it. But we want to bring her up because she's phenomenal. She holds it down. She makes sure things are running smoothly. And if it does not run smoothly, trust me, it's something major that has happened. We thank you for your patience in supporting us. Continue to support us. Make sure you click share. And now I'm going to bring on our beloved sister, the opener of the show, Sister Shireen Muhammad.
Praise be to Allah. I just want to make sure that we are clear on what to do with the final call, how to get it. If you're not in an area where you can get to with one of our brothers who have the actual hard paper copy in hand, you can most definitely get it at the finalcalldigital.com. That's finalcalldigital.com. And then you can just read it just like this. It's right here on the screen. You can look at it. And of course, the cover for this week is Killed at Home While Black. And I know all of us have heard that story, like, wow, phenomenal. But okay, we're not going to get too far into that, but it's just amazing how these incidences just continue to go on. And we may get into it because we're talking about health and human service, and this is a human service. And this was a public servant who was to protect and serve. That's her oath. And she went into someone else's apartment. Of course, we've heard the story, but she went into someone else's apartment and just murdered him. So, of course, we'll hear more about that, and that may end up being a topic as we deal with disaster preparedness. Dealing with man up, more awareness now, uplifting profitability, the actions to make sure that you are uplifting your ability to profit from your efforts. You must do an evaluation. You must evaluate your plan. We talked about putting together a plan, right? You go starting from your thought. You have a thought in mind. You have thousands of thoughts. We know that thought travels at approximately 24 billion miles per second on average. This is what we're taught. So now some of us are above average. Some of us might be a little below average, but still 24 billion miles per second, anywhere near that number is a lot. It's fast, right? So we know we're getting fleeting thoughts all the time, but what is that thought that constantly comes up? It just continuously comes up. That thought now becomes an idea. Now you have an idea that you can write down. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us to write it down. You write that idea down, and then you develop a method, a plan, and a program. So you can take the time and look those up, but this is what he does each and every time he executes an idea and brings that idea into fruition. What he refers to as concretizing it. To make something concrete is to make it firm, that you can hold it in your hands, you can see it. You see what was once in your mind, now you can actually touch and feel it. And that thing should be profitable if it's a business. So when you're looking at it from a business standpoint, and you say, okay, am I making money from this? How can I make money? Who is my market? You have to ask yourself these questions. Who are you selling to? What are you selling, number one? What is it? And is that thing that you're selling, does it satisfy a need or solve a problem? If it satisfies a need and solves a problem, for who does it satisfy this need? And for who are you solving this problem? And then once you get to that point, okay, how do I reach this person? I know who I want to target. I know who needs this thing. How do I reach them? How do I get to them? And I can't just get to them one time. I can't tell you about Little Sweet Khadijah, the Kindest Cafe once. I have to tell you about this every day, all day. You have to constantly see it in your face before you even make a move to purchase. So how do I do that? How do I spend the resources, and where do I spend it so that you become familiar with what my product is? The need that is solving is solving the need for us to get our children into the mindset of doing something for themselves and working cheerfully and fearing not. You see how cheerful she looks? She looks excited. She's having a great time. She's a farmer. She's farming sweet ingredients that she uses to produce products for her cafe. And then she works in concert or collaboration with other young children on the farm who are also farming items like citrus, the citrus farmer, you got the tree farmer, you have all these different farmers who are building these things, and they work together to produce what is necessary to have a cafe. And then you have others who actually work and operate the cafe. So lose the mindset that you are the owner, you are the operator, you are the receptionist, you are the secretary, you are the negotiator, you are all these roles. Like, really? No, you need a team of people who are working to make this thing happen. That's the Man Up, More Awareness Now, Uplifting Profitability word for today. And now we're going to get right into the program and introducing our guests. I did mention to you that we represent the Ministry of Trade and Commerce, and as Sister Sandy mentioned, they did such a phenomenal job yesterday of bringing back to memory, recalling the Million Man March, which was an historical event that was called by the grace of Almighty God Allah by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And that is a perfect example to study, because as he talks about this event, he said those words came out of his mouth, and as it was coming out, he wanted to snatch it back, because the fear of being able to get 1 million men to come to the mall on a Monday jumped up in him. So it's not that you're not going to be fearful. We all are going to be fearful, but when the fear jumps up in you, what do you do with it? So with that, he went to work, and then he laid out in so many different takes on exactly how he had went to work. So if we just follow that, we would be in business, right? So just to let you know, the ministries, the 9 ministries was introduced to us at the commemorative event, the 10-year anniversary of the Million Man March, that he revealed to us or unveiled the 9 ministries. And we represent one of those 9, which is the Ministry of Trade and Commerce. And the Ministry of Trade and Commerce is responsible for the growth and development of the business and economic interests of the society. The ministry is dynamic in nature, relying on the input and consultants of consultants with experience and success in business and economics. So that's what we strive to do, to bring you individuals who are successful in business, and they serve as consultants on this show free of charge. They share their information, they share their best and worst practices, so that you and I could benefit from the wisdom of their success and avoid the pitfalls of their failures. That's the objective. We want to learn from those who've already tripped up. So when we make trips, it'll be some new ones. Hopefully, inshallah, it'll be some new trips. Okay. So without further ado, we'll bring in our dear brother Reginald and Sister Christina. Both of them are inspired by a great idea that was introduced by the greatest and boldest, and we already know who that is, the boldest leader and champion for Black people and all of humanity, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's their inspiration, and that's why they started the Inner City Emergency Response Team as a part of the 10,000 Fearless. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he called for 10,000 fearless, and we're representing that 10,000 fearless who stand strong, who regardless to whom or what, and doing what is necessary to make our communities a more decent place to live. Dear brothers Reginald and Sister Christina, please join the Mind and Money Matters live show.
Yes, well, good. Thank you so much for having us. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I am definitely excited to be on your show once more again. And I'm excited for the conversation that we will be having. So I'm here. Brother Reginald and I are not together at this particular moment, but I know he's somewhere
he's here.
You see him? Okay, good.
I see him. He just he needs to unmute. Oh, he's unmuted now. So now he can speak freely. He's on the road driving, but modern technology allows us to still be able to participate in this tremendous effort of bringing business science to our people. You know, one of the things that we note on this show that I failed to mention in the beginning is that in the original charter of the first HBCU that we know to be Howard University, and this is the case in all of them, that they are not to teach us the science of business and the science of birth control, so teaches the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Well, actually, he states the science of warfare and the science of birth control. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us that business is warfare. So we know when we say something is something, that means it's equal to, right? So business is equal to warfare. And then birth control is the science of mating, the science of rearing children, all of that. So there's no wonder why we have deficits in these areas of mating. You know, we feel like we're tripping up. You know, we have the highest divorce rates. We have the highest single parent homes. We have the lowest incomes. you know, we're reaching to be the highest educated. Now, we have closed the education gap. If you look at any of the statistics of the national statistics, you'll see that Black people have becoming more educated. So the gap where it once was like this on a graph, it is now closing because we have more degrees. If you go into any environment, you don't even have to read a statistics report. You can just be in an environment where educators are and where there's a mix of people, and you ask, how many degrees do you have? How many do you have? How many do you have? I go to many conferences. I'm in education. Black people always have more degrees. That's right. Like I have 5, like really, like we still trying to validate ourselves, still trying to be, you know, we're trying to get, we really are searching for this knowledge. Like, why is it that we are not having the success when the reality is because the foot is on our neck? So we're clear. And so we don't have to do as much, but you don't want to walk around here and not know. We are scholars, we are students, we are seekers of knowledge. So we're constantly studying. So don't get that mixed up either. Like, I don't need to get no education. No, really, you really do. We must be knowledgeable. It may not have to be institutionalized, but you need your knowledge. Okay. That's right. That's right. So tell us, sister, what's going on in your neck of the woods with regards to this emergency response team? We heard all this stuff about Florence. What's happening? Yes.
Well, let me start off first. You spoke about knowledge. Your knowledge is on its way, so you should get your book. This week.
I forgot all about it.
No, I wasn't going to forget. So thank you for your patience. Definitely what's going on with Florence, big major. And by the time either we're done with the broadcast, I want to be able to set forth a GoFundMe page. North Carolina is getting it bad.
Wow.
And I really want us. We have.
What parts of North Carolina?
Wilmington in particular. I think it's one Cape Rock or one of the two. But I'm more familiar with Wilmington. I have some boots on the ground. A really major key player, a Boston activist, is there down there, and she's being my boots on the ground person that's there getting all the intel, the resources, and different things that we need. So I wanted to make sure we keep up prayer, brothers and sisters. We're not really hearing everything that goes on these days. You don't even know what's real on the news, right? What's happening. My husband was telling me today that when they posted Hurricane Harvey, he was telling me that the alligators, the pictures they put, the planes on the water, he was saying all those things were fake. So you don't even know what we're seeing anymore for it to be true. But I will tell you that North Carolina is definitely underwater, and our people down there, where I got our sisters and the children are really suffering. So we're going to get ready to the point of being deployed out. But before that, there is a family. I want us to keep all of our brothers and sisters there in our prayers. But if you all remember on the news, there's a sister and her baby, an infant, that the tree fell on their house and it killed the mother and the child.
Wow.
Well, just got word today that family, we were able to get in contact with that family, and they send a list of things that they need. Mother and child, of course, did die. Father right now is in the hospital right now, and he's awaiting to even be seen. The water's so flooded, even the medical people can't even get in to see. So we want to definitely make sure, boots on the ground, you're in there, Wilmington, make sure that we get an opportunity to get these resources to our brothers and sisters, especially these babies. This mother left behind some beautiful, beautiful babies that are there. We have clothing sizes. We have their needs that they need. The GoFundMe page. I want us to be able to, not just in the nation, but outside the nation. I want us to be able to say, look, we're going to be there for our people. We're not going to have them wait for no Red Cross or no Blue Cross or nobody else crossing. We're going to come in and cross the path and make sure that our people get what they need. So at some point, whether it's now or before or afterwards, I want to go ahead and pass that GoFundMe page on so we can go ahead and keep that in mind and keep the prayers, and we'll get more information about them. But that's the Johnson family, and as well as the sister that's there. They're going to need a whole bunch of help from us. So it's going to start with us. We've done a lot of talking, so now we're going to have to do a lot more action and helping our people.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. And as soon as you have the sizes, we can announce that as well. Also, where in addition to GoFundMe can people make a contribution? Is there a location that people can go to lend a helping hand? We know that with the situation with FEMA and the Red Cross, that they come in day one, and this is typical in most situations, you know, that it's like the wake, right? You go to the funeral, you go to the wake, you may stay the next day, but most of us are leaving like the same day. And then the people are still there to deal with the grief. And so when other community organizations step up and step out and contribute, that extends the hand even further.
That's right.
So that, you know, because I know people who were burned out of their homes, and then, you know, they got a hotel stay for a day or two, and then it was like, okay, you're done, but the house is still burnt, like, you know. So the aid does not go as far as you may think. Those of you who have had to depend on that, you know that aid runs out rather quickly, like within 48 hours. And when you don't have no lights for 48 hours, and you don't have a roof over your head for 48 hours, and it lasts for 72 and, you know, 5 days and 2 weeks and a month, you need help. You know, I meet many families who are in need of assistance because of disasters such as this, you know, that they did not foresee occurring. So thank you, all of you who are going to help, and you're going to get that information to us as soon as possible so we can get that information out. And what city is this in? You're referring to the Johnson family?
That's the Wilmington, North Carolina.
Wilmington,
North Carolina. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll definitely get that to you. I'm trying to figure out how to get it from my phone being on the show. So I may have to send it to you by text to GoFundMe, and also those sizes and how we can help. Okay?
That's fine, because we have, you know, we're on demand. So many listen to the show after the show.
That's right.
and so those of you who are currently watching, just stay tuned and come back. It's worth the wait to help our people. So you know, help explain to me. We're gonna, you know, our next guest that we're gonna bring on, he's in Tuskegee.
That's right.
He is boots on the ground in Tuskegee, you know, representing seed. Are you familiar with him?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I work with him and his beautiful wife. Beautiful couple.
Yes. Praises due to Allah. So we're excited to have them come on in a few minutes. So, you know, tell me, what is a day like for you in your business, you and your husband, and in determining where you need to go next, or where you know, I like the fact that you were saying we have boots on the ground over there. You know, it's like, you know, you're sitting here and the operation is still happening. You know, that's one of the points that I like to make each and every week, that if you run in a business, it has to run without you.
That's right.
And so when it's not running without you, it's not quite a business.
Absolutely.
So tell me, how do you get to find out about something happening?
You know, always watching the news, always staying updated, Facebook, wherever I get calls, things are definitely taking place. Like I said, I have team members, boots on the ground, beautiful, beautiful sisters. Fatima Mann is one of my beautiful, beautiful sisters. She's an activist. She moves around. I mean, she moves around. She is a judge. You know, she has her degree.
Oh, that's the sister that was on the show last week.
That's permission. That's another one. We got some sisters.
Okay. Yes.
Ma'am. But some of our team will just find themselves, wherever a disaster is, they go to the disasters. What many people find themselves running away from, then we have some people that have a great love and who are not afraid, and they will run to a disaster. So that's
so how can the people who are in the Wilmington area, what are the surrounding cities, how can they come and assist and add to the boots?
Absolutely. So what we're going to do is I'm going to, the same text I'm going to give you with that GoFundMe, I'm going to actually send you a couple of flyers that have a couple locations in that whole entire area. So let me go ahead and I can start, once you and I get done, I can start texting those things to you. So maybe you can put them up some kind of way.
Yeah, yes. Send me the flyer. No, you send me the flyer right now. You know, one thing I have is a gift of gab. I can hold it down while I'm waiting for this flyer, because I want to get the information to the people. And then I can also bring in Brother Scott.
Perfect.
And while you go and get that information, so that we can make sure while we are on the air that we have what it is that we need to get our people in action. Because there are many out there that are waiting just to find out so that they can help.
That's right. Well, great. So give me a second. I'll go ahead and do that. I see my brother's on. So I'll go ahead and get the flyers.
Excellent. So while she does that, while Sister Christina of inner city emergency response team is all these, the disaster preparedness team. That's you got the inner city emergency response team, the 10,000 Fearless, and the Ministry of Health and Human Services is what she's representing. But she is going to get that information back to us, inshallah. Now, Brother Scott was born and raised in the metropolitan area of Chicago and became a registered member of the Nation of Islam in 1992 while attending Alabama A&M University. On returning home to Chicago, Brother Scott was involved in numerous community development activities, working with Bliss Corps, community networks, prison ministry, and violence prevention programs, and the Actual Facts Research and Survival Center. He is also a board member of the SAFE, S-A-F-E, Land Advocacy Network. In 1994, Brother Scott worked with New Life Self-Development as a pioneer of unarmed security in some of Chicago's most dangerous housing projects, including Rockwell Gardens, Maplewood Courts, Ogden Courts, and Cabrini Green projects. He was a principal in the successful initiation of a gang truce stretching from the north side of Chicago to the far south suburbs. He was a community organizer for the Million Man March, Holy Day of Atonement, and worked with the Chicago Local Organizing Committee, LOC, at Northeastern Illinois University. In 2001, he served as administrative assistant and documentarian for the lead scientist and director of the African Scientists Research Institute, and as a coordinator of an international multidisciplinary consortium of scientists and scholars among Chicago's major museums for a symposium on the life of Chicago's Black founder, Jean-Baptiste Ponte Dusabe. He's gonna have to say that because I'm Dusabe. I may think I'm saying it wrong. Later, Brother Scott worked as artist and residence for Chicago Public Schools. After School Matters program, using his formal film education from Columbia College, Chicago, to teach documentary film production. Phenomenal. From 2001 to 2004, Brother Scott worked in the National Office of the Holy Day of Atonement as a member of the late Reverend James Luther Bevel's executive staff, helping to initiate and develop numerous projects and programs across the city. It was during this time that he worked with the late Reverend Charles Cohen and the United Front in the development of a carpentry school in Chicago's Mount Greenwood neighborhood. See, this is amazing. You're talking about education. We spoke about that and the training that you get from participating in certain activities. In 2002, 2003, Brother Scott gathered together the demographics of every murder in the city of Chicago for Project 666, the War on Murder, a campaign initiated by Reverend Bevel. He created murder maps by logging each murder in Chicago's 77 neighborhoods on city ward maps. His innovative methodology led Chicago law enforcement to change the way the city approached, cataloged, and archived its murders. After Reverend Bevel's death in 2008, Brother Scott relocated to Etal, Alabama, to complete an assignment given to him by Reverend Bevel to study with Bishop Luke Edwards, founder of Reach Incorporated. He served on the Economic Development Committee for the organization prior to marrying his wife, Erica. In 2010, Brother Scott and Sister Erica incorporated Students for Education and Economic Development, which is SEED Incorporated, a nonprofit ministry designed to teach the community to become economically independent and institutionally sovereign. SEED Incorporated focuses on the issue of community food security by operating a farm school for children in grades K through 12 and offering an apprenticeship program matching adult apprentices with older farmers. In 2012, SEED headquarters moved to historic Tuskegee, Alabama at the invitation of Amelia Boynton Robinson, mother of the voting rights movement. In 2013, SEED invited the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to Tuskegee to tour Tuskegee University and to hear a presentation about SEED's food security initiative. During this historic visit, Brother Farrakhan dubbed the city the seminal stage of the kingdom of God. Since then, SEED has developed chapters across the country. Later that year, Brother Farrakhan invited Brother Scott and Sister Erica to his home to discuss the war on murder. So profound was his enthusiastic response that SEED developed a new approach that combined the war on murder and the food security initiative. This resulted in the SEED Atonement Memorial Garden, a project that creates edible parks with gardens that memorialize victims of murder and as part of our atonement for allowing our communities to degenerate. SEED also produces the Jubilee Film Festival, which showcases films on the American Civil Rights Movement and provides a venue for films addressing current social problems. This year, the Jubilee Film Festival produced its first post-traumatic assassination syndrome conference, commemorating the 50th anniversary of Dr. King's assassination. Brother Scott is often invited to speak on issues of character development, conflict resolution, manhood, and food security at colleges, universities, churches, conferences, and community gatherings. Welcome, 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 dear Brother Scott. Are you there? Okay, I see you there. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, beloved.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. How are you? It's good to see you.
I'm doing
These
well.
are my arms are stretching out to give you a hug, cheek to cheek. Praise Allah. I was on a hunt trying to find a picture. Did you like my skills and putting that picture together on the flyer? Okay, you knocked the camera out, Brother Scott.
I'm sorry, my phone rang.
Oh, okay.
No, my phone rang. Sorry about that. I said you caught me on a fast with that one, so I thank you.
Yes, yes, sir. Because you know, it's often we have guests on the shows. Like, this is a heads up, y'all. We asked you for a picture. Can I get a picture?
Yes.
If you don't send me one, I'm gonna make one. And so so I made one.
Well, yours was better than the one I would have sent, so all praise to Allah. Thank you.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna use my skills right here and go, Photoshop them into each other, and it looks.
Go ahead.
Yeah, praise to Allah. But it's a pleasure and an honor to see you. Wow, I had to read, although that bio. Please don't send us a bio like that, y'all. Listen,
yeah, I'm sorry.
If we invite you to come on the show, it's because we think that you're doing something phenomenal and we want to share it with the people. Don't send us a book.
Yes.
Brother Scott.
Yes, ma'am.
I had to read your book because
yes, ma'am. Praise
because your efforts had won the attention or earned the attention of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I wanted the people to hear why the minister was so impressed and why he took the time to come to see you and your family. So I know we have spoken many times because when I first met you all and I saw the flyer, this is the flyer that I saw, y'all. Can y'all see this?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So when I saw the flyer, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to come visit myself, you know.
Right.
And I took a drive, did I not, to Tuskegee and spent the day with our family and the children that they work with, and it's absolutely phenomenal the work that they're doing and teaching our children how to grow their own food right there in the projects, teaching our children, taking them to different field trips and exposing them to our history, to give them that burning desire that, you know, I remember this bringing me to my son telling me many years ago, like, Mom, I need the passion that you have, because I'm like passionate, like, look, y'all gotta get this done, we gotta, you know, and so I've been exposed to a lot, you know, being raised in the Nation of Islam, living in Harlem on 116th Street, on Lenox Avenue, right across the street from the mosque, from the 70s, you know, when it was just like on and popping, you know. Now it's a little different, you know, everything has been regentified, if you will. But then before, that's not the case, you know, in the 70s, that was not the case. So, you know, seeing that and having that burning desire to make a difference in my community and be someone who spearheaded something, who made a difference in some kind of way. I had no idea what that way was going to be, but I knew it was going to have to be something to help save our people. And so when I saw this program, Seed, Students for Education and Economic Development, I had to come and see it with my own eyes. And by Allah's grace, I did see that. Now, Brother Scott, in your bio, and I've heard you talk about this, that the minister speaking about Tuskegee as being the seminal or seminal fluid.
Yes, ma'am.
Of is it of Tuskegee? What is the exact word?
Well, the national broadcast of his lecture when he was in Tuskegee was on a Friday night at the Chappie James Center, and he described Tuskegee as the seminal fluid of the kingdom of God. Gotcha. That came in a series of statements that he was making while he was here. He started off at one point describing Tuskegee as an incubator of national and international development. And as he spent time, his statement evolved. So that Friday night, he said the seminal fluid of the kingdom of God. But then Saturday morning, Sister Erica and Chief Frazier and myself, we organized a private dialogue with him and Queen Mother Amelia Boynton Robinson. She was 109 at the time.
Wow.
And had been fighting for the right to vote for 99 years.
Wow.
And while the minister was in there, he was speaking, and he called Tuskegee the seminal stage of the kingdom of God. And all of those references are very pregnant. They are very pregnant. And so, you know, if you're on my Facebook page or on C's Facebook page, I took a clip because I was using my phone, and I caught just a couple of minutes of the minister speaking on that, and I put that on my page. So if you go to my page, you know, it's on there somewhere. And I think at 3 minutes and 10 seconds, he says, Tuskegee, the seminal stage of the kingdom of God.
To Allah. Beautiful, man.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So tell us a little bit about what inspired you from all of the experiences that you have had in the various programs that you have been involved in. What inspired you and your wife to initiate Feed, Students for Education and Economic Development?
Well, after the Million Man March, I was doing different things, traveling and, you know, school, all kind of stuff. There's a brother named Enoch Muhammad who runs Hip Hop Detox. He and I were in the same squad coming up in Chicago. We were both in the task force, where the minister's nephew was our lieutenant, and he passed suicide. And so our squad, you know, was disbanded. And, you know, we went on, but his death affected so many people so deeply. You know, there are FOI that I know that still, you know, have not ever regained the equilibrium following that. And if you go on YouTube, you can see the lecture Brother Farrakhan did called "The Problems of Suicide and the Causes of Homosexuality." You know, and you'll see all of us, you know, sitting and listening. It was a very heavy time.
And this, by the way, has been coined Suicide Awareness Month, the month of October. So
yes, we just got a post
for those
from a
who
friend.
follow that calendar.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
We just got a post from a friend, a little girl. How old was she?
7th grade.
7th grade, just committed suicide, victim of molestation, and her mom didn't believe her.
Wow.
So these, you know, we got stuff that we really got to address. And that lecture.
When did this happen?
Alabama.
This happened in Alabama sometime in the last day or two.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this lecture, the causes, the problem of suicide and the causes of homosexuality, particularly in this climate and this day, I would recommend, if you have not saw it, please, you know, take some time and check that lecture out. It was at Muhammad University on a Wednesday night. At any rate, the minister had Reverend Bevel set up an atonement office in Chicago for those who would like to study the 8 steps of atonement. And Brother Enoch came and got me, and we went to find members of our squad and others to work through the atonement, which is a science not unlike Dianetics. Has a bit of a different approach.
Right.
But it helped some of us, and you know, some didn't stay the course. But in the process of working with Reverend Bevel, I was just blown away by him as a scientist. And then I began to discover and hear the different things that Brother Farrakhan had said about him. And so I worked with him. And, you know, one of the things he told me, he said, brother, if you stick with me for 40 days, I'll turn your mind on for you. You know, and I said, wow, okay, well, and this was after I'd heard him teaching, and, you know, I went around with him, and then he says, you know, what do you want to do? I said, well, I like to be an instrumental healer for my nation. He said, we can do that. And so as we started working, we got into the war on murder, and, you know, we had a farm school program. We had so many programs going at the time. I would dread when people asked me, what do you do? Because they really didn't have enough time to hear what it was we were actually doing. You know, every day from sun up to well past sundown, were filled with activities of service to the community. And all of them were constitutional in nature, meaning that it was in the health, interest, rights, and needs of the whole that this be done. And that's how we came up when he passed, and he organized because my wife is his widow. He organized our marriage. And Brother Farrakhan, you know, he had a lot to say about that.
Wow.
You know, and you know, it was really, really heavy when because he has his own relationship with Sister Erica, the minister. Right. Because the Million Man March came through her office. You know, she was doing all of the flyers and legwork. So she was working directly with the minister. So when he came to Tuskegee, and he brought me up to his room first, and then he called for my wife. When she came in, it was like, you know, I was just standing off to the side. They was kicking it. You know? It's like, can I get in? You know? Right. And it was funny because his cook came in, Sister Mary Alice, and he asked her, he said, you know, do you remember Sister Erica? She was married to Reverend Bevel, and now she's married to Brother. And, you know, they talked and everything, and, you know, it was cool. So the next day, that was Wednesday afternoon. The next day, we did the seed presentation. We took him on a tour through the museums. When he was ready to retire to his room, he invited me up. and we were talking, and he cleared the room. It was just him and I. And he said, "Brother, I hope I didn't offend you yesterday when I introduced Sister Mary Atlas to your wife by saying that she was married to Reverend Bevel and now she's married to brother." And I said, "No, sir. You know, Reverend Bevel organized our marriage." And he said, how wise. Reverend Bevel chose someone for the one he loved.
Right.
You know, and it just,
because all I'm thinking as you saying this is, what manner of man is this?
What is this?
Right?
Come on.
Minister Lawrence Farrakhan is absolutely beautiful, but please continue.
Yes. And, you know, another part of it, interestingly enough, my son offended a lot of people who came down with Brother Farrakhan. He was traveling with his friend who since passed, Mr. Coleman, and when my wife came up, she was carrying our little girl who was an arm baby, and my little boy was about 2. And Naeem was in love with the minister. So when he came in the room, he ran over and like jumped up on his leg. And of course, I was like, oh my God, you know, boy. And the minister was like, no, leave him alone. He said, they didn't ask to come here, you know, so when they get here, it's our duty to serve them. You know, that's profound. Yes, and he spoke again to that Friday night. We were we were having dinner, and the local imam came through, and he was sharing with the local imam that now we have an imam in the nation, the Minister Sultan, and Imam Sultan, I'm sorry, and he started running through his history. And how when he was a little boy, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it didn't matter who he was meeting with. When Lil Chief came in the room, he cut everybody off and dealt with Lil Chief until Lil Chief was satisfied. And then he said these words. He said, see, he was demonstrating the life of Prophet Muhammad among us, and we missed it. You know, but in terms of the seed program, when my wife and I got to Utah, Alabama, we were trying to decide what aspect of the work we were doing with Reverend Bevel that we were going to use as like a focal point. And we had been doing a farm school program in the 9th Ward, 43rd Precinct of Chicago, which is the Roseland area. We created a gang truce between the BDs and got them working with us on a farm. And so we decided that that's where we would go. And so at the time we called it farm school, but the original program that Reverend Bevel had was called Seed. And so that's how we landed on that. And I'm sorry it took such a long roundabout way.
It's all good. I mean, you know, you're giving us information that we don't have, so we're having an opportunity to share in your history. Sister Erica, did you have anything you'd like to add to that?
I would add that we were in a community with a lot of children, and during the summertime, they really didn't have anything to do. So they were running up and down the street just crazy. And we knew they needed some kind of conscious administration.
That's right.
Right. Children do. So that's when we decided, let's start this farm school up. And the community we were in had a lot of land that was accessible for agriculture. So that's how we launched the program. And it was really a really wonderful experience because the community was very cooperative. At a certain point, we dug up all the backyards for the whole block.
Wow.
Just planted. It was incredible.
Now is there, when you with working with children, is there like a favorite thing they like to grow?
I can't particularly think of anything in particular that would be a favorite, but they love to grow. And people just generally don't know that children love growing food.
Yeah, I agree.
It's an experience that makes you really feel like God. You could make something from nothing. So it's actually a very incredible experience. And what we saw with the children there, that after they learned how to grow food in the big field, they would all go home and put gardens in at home and grow flowers at home. But they all took that knowledge back home with them. So that was something unexpected. We didn't know that would happen, but they just naturally did that.
Excellent, excellent.
We see that wherever we're teaching children how to grow.
Yeah, you can jump in anytime, Sister Christina. You have any questions for them?
Yes, no, I'm listening. I love listening to the both of them. They're both couples. Alaikum salam, family.
It's good to see you, Sister Catherine.
See y'all too. All praises due to Allah. You know, since we brought the sister and brother down a couple of years ago to Dallas, and they came down to an event we had, and they showed up and showed out, and the work that they do is phenomenal. It's beautiful when you can take growing and food to a whole nother level. That's my sister and brother. So when they come on the scene, I be quiet and I listen, because you learn something every time, and you can hear the history behind the both of them. You know that the food growing has to be divine, because it's definitely, both of them are divinely guided by Almighty God, Allah. So I'm thankful, and I know that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is very proud of you too. And I want you all to keep on reaching, because when we talk about disasters, if you don't have food to eat, you know, people got to learn what's going to happen when you have a disaster and you run out of all of the goods that you can, right, in MGT class. You run out of all whatever. You got to go boots on the ground. You got to be able to camp out. So what can you grow and eat within 2 or 3 days? You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to look at that. So what you all are doing is phenomenal. And I'm going to go ahead and bring you back, so we can show what's going on later.
Let me know so I can just stand by and record.
Let me
record. I'm gonna have to invest in a real camera, so when I go recording, it's like I can zoom in and zoom out, get the lighting right, and all that. I don't know how this photography thing picked up with me, but you know, I want to share with us the video, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that Brother Scott referenced.
Yes.
From his page.
Washington gave us the genesis of a brand new beginning for us. And in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, after God created everything that he did in 6 days, he said, but there was no man to till the ground. That is the genesis of everything. It is land, and our ability to farm that land, because out of that land this body was formed, and out of that land every medicine to heal this is already here. Our nurturing is not in a health food store. It is in what we produce from the land. And then Adam and Eve had the first dysfunctional family.
That's right. That's right.
And there was Cain, a tiller of the ground, and his younger brother Abel, who had a sheep. And it seems like God loved the sheep or the lamb more than he loved what God made to till the ground. I would say to all scholars of religion, God loved the work of Cain. I heard Reverend Bevel say that Cain, when God spoke to him, he said, Cain, why is your countenance fallen?
Yes, sir.
Why are you angry? Sin lieth at the door. Now to me, when you think that somebody else is getting honor and praise that you feel you are due, you don't have a happy face. Your countenance falls and you become angry. It is not that God did not respect the work of Cain, but God was looking down the wheel of time to the end of a wicked world that came in through rebellion against his will, and he saw a lamb, a precious lamb that would take away the sins of the world. He saw Jesus. And because Jesus comes as one man brought sin and death into the world, another man was coming to bring life. Right. And your and my understanding of Jesus is critical to building the kingdom of God. And the greatest deception that the enemy of God has done is to deceive us about Jesus. Right. Because it is Jesus that ends this wicked world, and it is Jesus that is the cornerstone of the kingdom of God. Tuskegee, the seminal stage of the kingdom of God. I leave you with this. In the book of Matthew, it says, the Son of Man would be coming out of the east as lightning shines from the east even unto the west. For there shall the eagles be gathered together, and there will the carcass be. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that the carcass is the dead remains of a once great people, that in the book of Ezekiel it talks about these dry bones in the valley. All of us disconnected from one another. We've heard many great words from many great preachers that are modern day prophets. We heard them, we shook in the valley, we rattled, but the Spirit of God never came into us that we would be united. Right here in Tuskegee, please hear me, you got new buildings.
Come on now. Yes.
But you are the carcass, dead remains of the idea of Booker T. Washington. And that man must be resurrected from the grave and his ideas put back in force, and the enemy that is now gathered around Tuskegee.
Come on.
Because the carcass must never be allowed to rise again, because when Tuskegee rises, Black America will rise and a new world will come into existence. That's what I wanted to say. So may I just say this, please?
Yes.
You've got to protect your president.
Yes.
Rushan is a good man.
Yes.
He's a broad man with great experience.
Yes.
But he was threatened.
Yes. Yes.
Because he dared to receive me.
Yes. Yes.
They threatened to take $46 million away from him to build the veterinary hospital. You must keep him strong by coming around him and watching these people.
Come on. We're going to do it, y'all.
Please keep your eye open. Never forget the Tuskegee experiment. Never forget HeLa cells.
Come on.
What are they here for? What are they experimenting on? What's in this immortal cell? You better keep your eyes open and watch as well as pray.
All right.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Brother Scott, for bringing this video to our attention and for sharing it. For those of you who may have come in late or may want to see it again, you can find this on Seed, S-E-E-D, on Facebook. Just search for Seed, and it's Seed Incorporated. You'll see the green logo. Thank you. The green logo, I'm thinking emblem, like it's not an emblem. The green logo next to the name, and it's S-E-E-D space I-N-C, Seed Incorporated. And I can just give you a look of what the page looks like. You know, this is modern technology, so we can do all sorts of things, but this is what the page looks like. So if you just go to Seed Inc., and there you'll see all the phenomenal work that the children do. These What do you call these, Brother Scott? The jars.
Standard terrarium.
Right. You know, I have several of them, and I've gifted some to others. I don't know if y'all can see this now, but you may be able to see my little screen up here. This is one of the ones I have. I have a larger one downstairs in my foyer area. But because it's green in it, and this is a green screen, it is blocking out the green, so that's why it looks like that. But the colors are green, blue, and I guess rust. Very, very, very pretty. I love looking at it. I keep it sitting around me. But they do all sorts of these with the children. With these young men, they make them, and then they go out and sell them. And so they're able to make money. And now you had given me a story about
I have to say, Sister Shireen.
Yes.
I have to say thank you, because you gifted me one of their beautiful planneries as well, and it's still living, it's growing. I'm just saying to myself, oh my God, it's growing so beautiful. What do I do when it gets so big? We'll talk about that offline. They are beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yes, praise be to Allah. So you see this young man, and how many children do you work with who are given the opportunity to make these and go out to market and sell them?
I done kind of lost track. It's a gang of them.
Praise be to Allah.
And they
see the joy in their eyes when they're out there, and they I mean, they were the energy in your home was so alive when they were in there. I guess I'll just call it a factory. They were in there just, with the sand of different colors, and they get to create their own color schemes and choose their rocks or pebbles or whatever they want to put in it. They have different size jars. The jar that he's holding in his hand that you see on the image happens to be the same size as the one I just showed you. However, I have one that's like a fish bowl, look like almost like a fish bowl. He had many different shapes, sizes, and colors. So those who are interested in supporting Seed Incorporated and the young people who benefit from this project, how can they get in touch with you?
Just drop us a line, direct messages or what have you on Facebook, and we always respond. And we deliver at no extra charge.
Excellent. Well, you deliver as long as it's a feasible location to where you are.
Right. No, well, we all over Alabama. We're in Georgia.
But this is the World Wide Web. So we have those listening from London and all over. So we'll have to work on some shipping. But if you see right here, send a message. You can send a message to our brother and sister and request a design. If you want a particular color, you can do so. You can request your color scheme, or you can let the children come up with whatever. I like to see what they produce. I see my sister Amina Hott. This is Amina Hott's husband, Brother James, giving the Hurricane Florence forecast. How long is this video? Because I looked at this yesterday. I think it's only a minute.
Now,
it's only a minute long.
Is to have a to-go bag. A to-go bag holds all the necessary supplies that you will need if you have to evacuate your home, place of business, or you're traveling in a vehicle. In your to-go bag, you should have water. You should have a light source, such as a flashlight. And if you have family, you should have a source of communication, such as a walkie-talkie, just in case your phone goes out, but you are still in close proximity with your relatives or family members. Also in your to-go bag, you should have a survival blanket. This blanket keep you warm in those times of cold areas. Also, you should have food in your to-go bag. These foods are dehydrated mixtures, such as this one, which is oatmeal. Lastly, you should have packets of water, either in this version, or you can just have a plastic bottle of water, but you should always have that with you.
Excellent. So, I had to also share that. There you go. How beautiful. Man, that's pretty. Wow. Yes. Yes. That's the one I was speaking of. That's like a fishbowl. Very
These
nice.
are they're called sand art terrariums.
Okay.
And a terrarium is a terrestrial aquarium that features plants rather than fish. And we use succulents from the order sedum. These when the leaves fall to the surface, they sprout up new plants. And it's for us, it's like a metaphor of the murder victims that fall to the ground, but through our work, we're giving them new life. You know, so some of them we started out with one called Sempervivum, and that literally translates into live forever. You know, so these are very special plants. And
now, what's the cost of that size?
What is this one? These are 30. And then I have another one. Now, some of our students.
They come in all sizes, right?
Yes, ma'am. And one like this. This is also 30. Okay. And some of our students actually came over today because they keep us old people on our toes. When they get out of school, they don't be tired. They be ready to go to the field.
And they got something to do.
That's right.
And they come to your house as the door is always open. And
now this one here isn't done, but this is Brother Quintavius's, and I'm gonna put him on blast. That's Brother Quintavious. You remember him?
Yes, yes. How are you, sir? It's so good to see you. I can't wait to come back and see you again.
You really had a deep effect on everybody here, sis. I deeply appreciate you. And this is the one Quintavious is working on now. Excellent. He's going to finish it. And not to be undone, I know you remember this fella here.
Yes.
This Brother Kanaji. You going to give it greetings,
yes, brother? Kanaji. Assalamu alaikum. It's so good to see you. So wonderful. Thank you for having them. Wow, that was a great surprise.
Praise is due to the Lord.
Now I'm eager to get on the road. I'm eager.
now these brothers are actually trained in the BFOI with me.
Okay, so praise be to Allah.
We have class, just about every day.
Excellent.
And on that, I wanna share something. Just in the interest of health and human services.
Yes, sir.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna share something that I wrote to the minister. It's a couple paragraphs.
That's
where we at? So this is the letter I was saying. I want to share one insight about our work in Tuskegee that I felt was very significant. During your visit here in 2013, you called Tuskegee the seminal fluid of the kingdom of God. We know from the study of your words that the seminal fluid that surrounds the seed is alkaline in its composition to neutralize the acidity of the vaginal tract. So we started this journey with both the seminal fluid and the seed. You may remember some of the particulars about the war on murder, which Sister Erica and I presented to you when we met in Chicago in June 2013. Although your invitation for us to spend a day with you on the farm the following week did not materialize, your enthusiasm about what you heard from us inspired us to work on the way to execute both movements in one motion. The result was the Seed Atonement Memorial Garden, which I was able to describe to you when you sent for me to join you in Chicago for part 4 of the Justice or Else tour that was held at the Salam restaurant. In working through the 8 steps of atonement for our memorial garden, we found ourselves stuck on the 4th step of repentance. Up to this point, we had presented handmade gifts to the mothers of the slain as symbols of our resolve for expiation, but we have been unable to repair the damage to the hearts and minds of the mothers and their families. The auditing sessions that we have provided to the families have allowed us to offer the 5th step, atonement. We helped them to begin the process of healing their hearts and minds, and with that, the war on murder began. The acronym for the war on murder begins is WOMB, the womb. Now we have the seed, the seminal fluid, and the womb. And I realized that the war has always been over the womb. Who is going to control it? Whose seed would it reproduce? Whose ideas would it nurture? This gave me a deep understanding of our lesson that 75% of the work is with the woman, and that a nation can rise no higher than this woman. I'm gonna stop right there. But the point is I got my sister Captain on the phone, and she's a bundle of energy, and the work that you're doing is so awesome. The minister said yesterday that the woman is the greatest agent of change.
Come on now.
You know, and when we started this war on murder, people were talking about the 10,000 fearless, right? And they were looking at brothers in the street.
Come on.
But there's nothing more fearless than the mother who has lost her child. There's nothing more relentless or determined for justice than these mothers who have lost their children. Not only the ones who lose them in the street, but to the police, but the ones who lose them every day. So these mothers are standing with us, and we're able to heal them. You know, so like what I'm learning is that I'm very temporal as a brother. The sisters that I work with, like my wife, she make me look good.
Come on, man.
She do. And my swag about 50 billion. I feel like I look great.
Swag now, right?
You know,
I see
right?
Brother Reginald. You don't brought Brother Reginald in now.
Yeah.
Right? You ain't doing. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we look good. We were called by housing, and they brought us down and showed us this big stack of police reports from before we moved here. And Mr. Muhammad, we just want to say great job, because there's only 4 police reports in a year that you've been in these projects. And I wanted to take the credit, but I had to refer them to Sister Erica. These is her children.
Beautiful.
All of the children in this neighborhood. If you look on my Facebook page,
I see on your Facebook page. I saw the bean soup. Now I see
okay
for making the bean soup for the children.
Look, it's another one. Her father just passed away.
Oh wow, may Allah be pleased with him.
Indeed. So we memorialized her dad. She was out of town doing hospice for him for about 6 weeks.
Oh God.
And so she came. Yeah, right. And it's me.
Did they turn
it was me and my
down, ma'am? Did they turn it upside down?
No comment.
It was me and my oldest son. We was left here to fend for ourselves.
Lord,
and so you know I was missing my wife. And so she came home. And and the children all in the house, my children. And I said, well, babe, let's go take a walk. It's getting, the cool of the evening, and I just wanted to talk to her. And we got to walking, and she a magnet for children, so all the children in the neighborhood saw that Sister Erica, and they flooded the street. And pretty soon, and I'm standing there. It's like
no private walk was over.
You know what I'm saying? But they have a deep love for her. That's because she provided for them.
That's right.
What comes out of the class, civilization.
Beautiful.
And what you have, it hit me like a brick. I'm not just talking. The answer is the MGT class.
That's right.
But you gotta take it. You gotta take it out of the mosque.
Come on now.
You got to do that. And a lot of people ain't gonna feel me on that. I'm sure I'm gonna probably catch some flack for this later. But look,
no, you are absolutely correct.
That's right.
When I was working,
each and every week I'm on this show with
Come on.
class, y'all.
That's right.
Right.
I'm making a point to make sure I am in my headpiece. Each and every week I represent how to act at home and abroad.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on.
Every week you're getting an example of what we are taught in the MGT class.
Come on now.
Absolutely. We have to come out into the street. And my dear sister Christina is out in the street. She got boots on the ground.
Come on.
In the city. I'm not looking at it now, so you're gonna have to say it. What is it called?
No, wait, Sister Shireen.
What is it called?
Wait, hold on.
I want her to say it. Inner City what?
Emergency response team.
Right. Inner City emergency response team. I wanted to get the words right. That is the boots on the ground in the city, giving the people how to eat to live, giving them how to rear their children, how to take care of their husbands, and how to act at home and abroad, which is the class.
Now look, I say this. See, this ain't what I'm saying. Ain't for you.
Yes, sir.
What I'm saying is a bearing of witness of you.
That's right.
See, because you travel
to
my farm school to serve these children. They still wearing the shirts that you gave them. We still reading the books that you gave them. I'm saying, and Sister Christine is a legend. You know, you see her everywhere with it. I'm bearing witness to you. So look, I want to say too, you know, because I always say this, when we were doing, when the Nation of Islam, when the brothers, when FOI went into the projects in Chicago, you know, my face was on BET.
Come on,
it was broadcast around the nation. They were all talking about how, in that blue box, they were talking about how the brothers and how, you know, we eliminated murder. The murder rate dropped to 0 for 2 years. That's never happened in the history of the project.
Praise be to Allah.
And nobody ever asked me, how y'all do that? When I be in these social circles talking to social scientists, they never asked me how that happened.
Well, tell us, how did you do that, brother? In our last few minutes, we had 7:36, but we gonna cover it with this.
Ooh, yes.
How did you do
There was a sister named Karima Muhammad. She started off Fannie X Brown, the sister of legendary singer James Brown.
That's right. That's right.
She came into the projects. Now, we were able to arrest the madness, but we couldn't eliminate it. When Sister Karima came over there and started teaching the women how to get the roaches out their house.
Come on now.
When she started, originally, she was just cooking. We had an apartment. She would just go in.
Woo!
Oh, man, and she'd be cooking bean soup, and the whole floor, you smell of garlic, because Sister Karima would press the juice out the garlic for us and put it in the bean soup. Because a lot of us were single brothers, you know, and we working in the projects with like 14 stories of single mothers. So I think Sister Karima, part of her job was just to make sure everything kept on the up and up. But she started teaching.
He will make sure.
The children would smell the bean soup. Excellent. And she always had a bowl for them. Then the mothers would come. And she started teaching them how to clean their apartment. We had super rats in the projects that would run into these women's houses.
Wow.
And she started teaching them how to keep the rats out their houses, how to lay the ammonia down. That's what changed the complexion of those projects. It was the MGT class in motion. Look, she beat their children when they act up. and pop a parent if it got to that point. Karima don't care. She don't she don't play. I was scared of Sister Karima. But that's what changed the murder rate. That's what changed the culture. And we started getting sisters who actually came into the ranks because she went into projects. There's nothing that can stop the power of them 7 units acting in the environment, because that's what all of them need. And deep down, that's what all of them want. And I'm over here in the projects, and people be wondering what the it's not the people that live over here, it's the people that come over here visiting these single mothers who don't know their value.
That's right.
Then you got 13 Negroes outside acting the fool. You see what I'm saying? But once they start learning their value, you know, and that's where I come in as the brother. You know, then now it's my turn to talk. Hey, bro, you know, look, you know, why do I have to have you orientate my children on how to roll the blunt? This the children's block, family. Why don't y'all go over there?
Right.
And if you serving and they respect you, they'll go over there.
Right.
Yeah. They'll get the children they block. That's not unreasonable. Our brothers ain't what they make them out to be.
That's right. That's right.
Most of them, particularly down south, they got enough sense to know, yeah, you right, man. Look, y'all, let's move it on down the block.
They just need a little reminder.
That's all they need. And that's what we got to be for.
That's all we all need.
Yes.
Is a little reminder. You know?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Praise be to Allah. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Beautiful.
Let the people know how they can reach you, how they can get in touch with you, how they can get a hold of some of these beautiful terrariums. I wish I could really show mine, but all you see is the brown color because the green.
That is way out. I wish I could make one like that.
Right, that
you
kind of
whole creation.
Because I have a green screen behind me, all the green that's in here is being blocked out.
Nice.
You got to get one like that. Sister.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's
up. That's pretty.
You got to get one like that. No, I mean, Nisha.
But there are a couple ways. You can go through the Facebook page, the Seed Facebook page, and just send us a message. You can go through our website, www.seedincorporated.com, and you can either send a message. You can actually order them on the website as well. You can give us a phone call, 334-452-2426. So any of those ways, and let me give an email address.
Okay, 334-452
2426.
2426. Yeah, you know, when you're saying numbers, you really have to say it several times. Because you know, sometimes people just hear, oh, they're about to say the number. Then they're like, oh, let me hurry up and get my pen. Then it's like, oh, they did say, could you say that one more time? We hear you talking.
Let's say it one more time.
It's 334
452
2426. That's 334-452-2426. And it's Seed, SEEDINC.com.
And let's give
SEEDINC.com.
Yes,
and then that is also the same as for Facebook. You can catch them on Facebook, Seed Space INC. You can inbox them there. You can look at their 1,001 images of them working with young people and teaching young people skills on how to build an economy for themselves, utilizing the earth with their own hands. These children have their hands in the dirt, y'all. They are making it happen. You know, children love to play in dirt. So
it's soil.
Okay, sorry. Soil. I stand corrected. It is soil. Yes. So, Sister Christina, any parting words that you would like to share with the audience before we part?
No, let's just keep up prayer, dear family. We love you all so much. Let's just pray for each other through all the storm. The minister said it's just beginning, right? So wherever you are, prepare yourself. Disaster preparedness is not just a month. It's not just a Monday when you talk about it. It's not just a day. But disaster preparedness is a time to prepare for always. We never know what's going to take place. Brother Scott and Sister Erica, you were absolutely fantabulous. I love you. I love seeing the two of you together. It's something about a husband and wife team that just does something to the world, right?
That's how you one to know one.
Successful when you come together. That's right. I did want to say this. Remember, I had spoke to you last year about our disaster preparedness manual, and when I spoke about food safety. I'm serious about that. When it comes to disaster preparedness, we got to get together, family. So just the start of it. This is the manual. On the back side of the page, I want you to look and see if you can see your name. I did give a shout out. All praises due to Allah.
Well, we appreciate you.
You are in there. The next book that will be coming out, you all will have your own chapter in it, and you all will design your chapter about disaster preparedness and food. So we'll be talking soon. I love you all. Keep up all of your good work. And let's keep doing what our Father wants us to do. And that's keep warning the people what we need to warn them about. Thank you. I love you. I love you, Brother Reginald. I love you, Sister Cherie. Everybody.
Sister Sandy, are you able to come in? Are you in range? You will have any parting words you'd like to share?
I have just been
from Brother Reginald. Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, go ahead, Brother Jahi. Okay, Brother Jahi was trying to come in, but all right, go ahead, Sister Sandy.
I definitely want to acknowledge our beloved Brother Reginald. If there's anything he'd like to add before we are done with the show as well today, please do. We will hold over a few moments to share any additional information you'd like to share. I'm just so thankful for the love in the Nation of Islam and our extended family, that when we make a call, everybody show up and show out. And it's just a beautiful example of what true love is. And I'm just so thankful for you all coming on the show. I love my partner. Everything that they bring to the table, it only magnifies in everyone else that comes. So love you all and be safe. And I look forward to seeing you all on the show next week.
Yes,
love you as
so
well.
Brother Reginald, did you want to come in and say anything?
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to say, let us all go back and watch the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Let us all parse his word, and let us all go and think about what's going on in the Carolinas. But let us mention that the minister said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it years ago, tons and millions of tons of water will be dropped on America. So he did not say where. So let us get prepared and let us take our job seriously. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you so much for that contribution. And Brother Jahi mentioned that Brother Enoch, Hip Hop Detox, was on the show in June 2017. He just wanted to make sure we gave that shout out that he has been on the show. I also thought about when you mentioned the manual, Sister Teresa here in Atlanta, Georgia. She represents big time on behalf of disaster preparedness, always sharing information, teaching us, bringing out her trunks and trunks of items, of things that we can use in a time when the power is out, the water is not running, and you know, all the things that we may need. Are you familiar with the bag that that Brother James was showing in that video?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
and
so
we have actually a survival list.
Okay, so is that a bag for purchase? You know, I was just wondering, I didn't see that information on the site. Is this something that people can order?
You create your own bag. So you have the survival preparedness kit.
I know that, but I know he had the bag that actually had the 10,000 fearless on it, and or something it had on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We have our own. He may have his own as well. So that's something that you can possibly ask him if he's selling them. But the 10,000 Fearless First Responders, we do have ours in orange as well, with the several listing of those. So, yes,
okay,
ma'am.
yes, ma'am. You offer it for sale is my question. This is a business. Yeah, this is this is the ministry of Ministry of Trade and Commerce. So one of the things that we like to encourage our business owners to do is to conduct business. Business only means to exchange currency or energy, or what we sometimes refer to as money, right? So
absolutely.
when you have an item, you hold up like the manual. Is it for sale?
It is for sale.
Purchase, yes. Where can
I'll bring it up next week? Yes, ma'am.
Alhamdulillah. So next week, the Ministry of Trade and Commerce.
That's right.
Present to you some products that's from around the nation. One of the reasons why I had to make it clear in terms of where the MGT class is and how we represent those of us who are out here with boots on the ground, on the airways, on the, you know, in cyberspace, however we represent, that we are representing, because one of the motivations behind doing this show in the first place is because many of us are doing much and we don't know about it. And so we wanted to bring to the people so we can see what it is that we are doing, because we tend to think, man, we ain't doing enough. There's nobody out here working. So each and every week we bring 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, sometimes 10 individuals on the show to show you what the Black man and woman is doing in the hells of North America. May Allah continue to bless us. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for watching. We see you next week. Inshallah, we'll read your comments. We'll respond. We want to thank Sister Anissa for holding it down on Twitter. Right. So if you think anyone has made any quotes that you're like, man, what did they just say? I know I heard her say something. Yeah. Sister Anissa is locking it down on Twitter. We thank her so much. She has 2 books on Amazon. Escaping the Chains and Chasing God. So go on Amazon and secure those books. And that is Escaping the Chains and Chasing God. She has been writing for the Final Call since she was about 14 years old. And she is now in college, working on, I think might be a junior now. She's either, I think she's a junior now and in college studying journalism. But she has been a writer and since her teenage years. She graduated number 4 in the top of 4 of over 700 students in her class, being a homeschool student. So she is absolutely brilliant, and we are thankful to Almighty God Allah to have her assist us in the way of Twitter. Thank you so much, Sister Anissa. May Allah continue to bless you. And I thank my co-host for sure, Brother Jahi, who is, he raised his hand and sends a message in the chat when he's able, but he's normally locking it down. I don't know. How did I do, Brother Jahi? Send a thumbs up. Sister Sandy, who is also on the road, had taken care of business, but she popped in and out to give us her energy, and she represents Soul Wisdom International. And I'm telling you, many of us need to sit our behinds across somebody, like knee to knee. Just get there, knee to knee, audited, yes, audited, yes. Because who mentioned that the girl committed suicide? Because that's Brother Scott who mentioned the young lady committed suicide about 2 days ago, because she was distraught after being molested. Like, come on. Come on, man. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us to protect our girls. Like, that's very serious. We must protect our girls. Stop allowing them to sit on the laps of men. Stop allowing them they don't know what they're doing. They're babies. They're children. That's right. And we have grown men who, for whatever reason, don't have the self-control. So I'm not going to get into that. We can get on that bandwagon if you want to, but protect your girl, because you have to. There should never be a story that a young girl has committed suicide on the wake of after being molested. Like, this is absolutely unacceptable. That's right. It is unacceptable, mothers. And I'm charging us because we have the duty and responsibility to care for our children. That's right. I'm going to let others deal with the man, but I'm dealing with us as sisters. Right. Let's protect our girls and our young boys, because they are also being molested and raped. That's right. I've been working with children for over 20 years, and it's absolutely insane the number of children that are being abused inappropriately. And some of us are just standing by, allowing our children to hear music that's massaging their ears, that's tantalizing their private parts. It's ridiculous. Right. It's ridiculous. Like, how we have to stop. And I generally do not get on this soapbox, but that infuriates me right there. I just have to tell you, it really does. Protect our girls. May Allah continue to bless us with the light of understanding and the wherewithal to protect our children from harm. Assalamu alaikum.